This is a severe weather alert from 27 News.
3:12 is your current time. A tornado warning has been issued for Rock County until 3:45 p.m. This is exactly what we were talking about. If you were with us on a live stream and earlier on when we cut in for a severe thunderstorm, we were seeing rotation in this system, and now it is here. So I'm going to go ahead and send it over to Chief Meteorologist Cameron Hopman. We're going to be tracking this system kind of near the Beloit and close to the Janesville area as well.
That's right, Alexis. The National Weather Service issuing that tornado warning for portions of Rock County and Walworth County through 3:45 there. You can see the red box on your screen. That includes Janesville and includes Beloit. Anywhere between those two communities, you should be in that safe spot immediately. So again, according to the National Weather Service, we do have strong rotation just passing over the state line right now. And just to show you exactly, so we're using our velocity tracker. What this is actually tracking is the movement of the air. Red is going away from our radar site in Milwaukee. Green is going towards it. So we have red, green kind of creating this rotation couplet. Right now, if we had to put a potential tornado on the ground, it would just be south of Wisconsin 81, essentially right along the state line between Newark and Sherland. That's pushing northeast at about 35 miles per hour. Beloit, you are in that warning box, but it looks like the greatest threat is going to be north of Beloit, along 51 and along 39. Unfortunately, we're starting to get to that commute hour. I know it's 3 o'clock. Commute starts mostly towards 4 and 5 o'clock in the evening. But if you have friends and family that are traveling right now between Beloit as well as Janesville, it is time to shoot them a text, or more importantly, give them a call and just say, hey, this is what's happening. There's a tornado warning for your area. They probably have a text message as well issued with that warning. So these are just schools in the direct path. Again, we're getting school times as well, just schools being let out. Bellcrest at about 3:16, so about a 3-minute heads up. Beloit about 3:14. Beloit Memorial High School about 3:19 at that time, so about a 5-minute heads up. These are all potentially impacted as well. Alexis, what else is the National Weather Service saying about this tornado warning?
Yeah, so one thing to note about this tornado warning is this is because of radar indicated rotation. However, this system has already likely, the National Weather Service in Chicago believes that a tornado did briefly touch down in Winnebago County in Illinois near Rockford, kind of near the Durand, Illinois area. So this system has capability to drop a tornado, likely going to see wall clouds with this system as well. If you're on I-39, 90, 94 in Rock County, you've got a little bit of time to get off the roadway, but I would give it only about maybe the next 10 minutes or so, because this system is capable of producing that tornado. That's kind of what we're watching, this rotation, hail potentially up to 1 inch in diameter there. But we do not have any updated reports, but I'm just telling you now that this system already has produced tornado-like systems here in just the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, we've seen images of a wall cloud in Winnebago County. We've had reports of either funnels dipping close to the surface or touching down very quickly in northern Illinois as well, associated with the same system. So again, you have that cluster of that direct path, again, pushing northeastward, likely north of Beloit, near 51 to 9039, just north of 43 and north of Clinton. So if we could draw kind of that direct path there. Looks like it's possibly pushing south of Janesville, but again, if you have friends and family in Janesville or Beloit and you're watching us on air, it's time to shoot them a text, give them a call, just say, hey, I don't know if you just saw, but there is a tornado warning for your area. So we have, again, some more of those schools in the direct path here over the next little bit. South Wisconsin Regional, it's a hospital through 3:27, so about a 10-minute heads up there. Lincoln Elementary School about 3:30. La Prairie right around 3:34. St. Mary's Hospital about 3:35. So yes, we are having a fairly slow-moving storm capable of producing that threat of a tornado. There is no tornado on the ground to our knowledge. The National Weather Service issuing this tornado warning because of radar indicated rotation. Let's talk more about that hail threat as well while we have it. Hail is also a fairly significant threat with this storm. The same storm that's creating this rotation at the surface, strong enough to generate hail larger than an inch in diameter. That's why we have not only a tornado warning, a severe thunderstorm warning until 3:45. It looks like they've extended that tornado warning through 3:45 as well, Alexis, at this
Correct.
time.
Correct. Yeah, and I've been checking with the National Weather Service. We do not have an update if there is a tornado on the ground right now. However, like we talked about, there has been a tornado with this specific cell. It can easily drop down at any time. So if you were in this tornado warning, you need to be in your safe space right now until 3:45 p.m. Janesville, Beloit, and anywhere in between. That is what we're looking at. I also have reports that in Orfordville, those tornado sirens are going off, which is good news there. We do definitely need for that to happen. And I know this is bad timing, you know, with the afternoon, evening commute. Schools are being let out, but just give it a little bit of time. This is unfortunately also a slow-moving system, but wait till it passes. I definitely would not advise going out right now.
Yeah, it's definitely not something you want to mess around with, trying to drive past it or through it. Again, if you're in Beloit and you're traveling to Janesville, or vice versa, if you're in Janesville, headed to Beloit, this is not the time to hit the road. Again, not necessarily a fast-moving storm. You may think, okay, I got some time. I'm going to just shoot up to Janesville. Don't test it. Just hunker down in Beloit, that safe spot. Now, when we say safe spot, that is the lowest level of the structure or business that you're in. So basement's going to be your best bet. If there is no basement, there is no cellar to the structure you're in, lowest level away from exterior windows and walls. Closets are great. Bathrooms are great for this situation as well. Again, this is all precautionary, but you have to respect the polygon. We say it all the time. Respect where these storms are. They can do damage. We just saw just weeks ago, Edgerton and Evansville were impacted significantly by the two very first tornadoes in the month of February in Wisconsin history. That is the type of storms we've been seeing. It is mild out there. Plenty of warmth. We have that warm front that's firing these storms up as of right now. A lot of lightning associated with this as well. The white kind of blob on your screen is our radar working to indicate and show where that area of hail is greatest. So we have the rotation couplet just south of Newark. We have that hail core just over Newark, out towards Wisconsin 231, north of Wisconsin 81, headed towards Janesville. So the rotation likely missing Janesville to the south. If it keeps on its current trajectory, that may change. But right now, if it keeps on its current trajectory, that rotation area could pass south of Janesville over 51, over 9039, but that hail core headed on a direct path towards Janesville. This is also a heads up for those of you in Janesville. If you're not traveling, you have a garage that you can pull that car into, now's your chance. Get that car covered by a rooftop something, because we could be dealing with ping pong ball sized hail from the system. Let's jump back.
I do want to go ahead and jump in really quickly. We do have a report in Orfordville, which you can see on the screen right there, kind of outside of the tornado warning, but still I believe in the thunderstorm warning or just outside of that. They have reported ping pong ball sized hail. That's what this looks like right here. That's 1.5 inches of hail. That really in diameter there. That can really create some issues. There's also a wall cloud that was spotted 5 miles south of Orfordville. Let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and just take a look at velocities again, just so we can see what we're talking about. A wall cloud, that's basically wall clouds can produce tornadoes. They can produce those funnel clouds, and then once that reaches the ground, that's where we see a tornado. And I told you, this system has kind of been bouncing up and down, so we do need to still take this very seriously. I'm going to go ahead and jump back to velocities here. This is south of Orfordville, so I'm thinking this is close to Newark right now. Newark in Rock County, where we are seeing this. If velocities ever want to come up here, here they are. So yeah, it's still disorganized with that velocity there, Cam, like we talked about. But there is rotation with this system. Wall clouds, funnel clouds, anything that you see rotating, you definitely need to make sure you're taking shelter.
And honestly, just looking at this, Alexis, there could be actually a few different smaller couplets that are kind of embedded within this kind of messy cluster. So let's jump in. Let's go full screen here and jump back into this storm just west of Beloit. So again, maybe a couple areas of concern here. Let's zoom in closest on Beloit right now. So just west of Beloit, we kind of have this area of light pink and red. It's not that organized, but there's definitely something there where you have the green coming in, you can have the red kind of curling back in around, maybe a little bit of a rotation couplet on Beloit's west side. This is moving off to the north near Garden Village. It's over Bellcrest right now, eventually passing in over Route 51 and eventually north of Turtle, just over 3990. Behind that, more importantly, this area of concern, if we could just pull that just up a little bit right around the state line, Alexis, there we go, just south of 81, another little area of concern. So this is kind of curling back in around, green's coming back up. So that's a little bit of a rotation couplet there. The brightest green on your screen right now, just south of the state line, kind of backing up. So you kind of have what equates to essentially three weaker areas of rotation that we're watching right now, not one significant one. Can we look over at our debris tracker? Do we have our, yeah, let's bring that up. Let's see if there's anything on there currently. Thankfully, it doesn't look like anything's significant on there. So it doesn't necessarily look like we're dealing with any debris balls on your screen right now. So what we look at, this is our debris tracker. We use this tool to look at essentially the density of what's falling within our radar. So that radar sweep comes through, everything bounces back to the radar, and it bounces not only a reflectivity, but a density of that object as well. If we have something that is dense, like rainfall, rain droplets all close together, they are similar. But if we get something that's a little less dense or a little larger, say, that's not necessarily together with that system, it reflects as green or blue. We have a little green there, but what we look for is normally a circle on your screen, a little ball of green or blue, and that is an indicator that there is a tornado on the ground and that it is generating debris at the surface. Thankfully, we don't have anything like that on your screen. We used this a lot just a few weeks ago with those Evansville and Edgerton tornadoes. For now, nothing as such on the radar. That's good news. We obviously don't want a tornado, but this is a great tool to use in the check. So let's jump back to our velocity, see if we've gotten any new sweeps there.
Sure.
Again, this tornado warning for Rock County through, for another 20 minutes or so, through 3:45. Right now, not seeing a ton of additional organization, but again, just south of the state line, maybe just west of Beloit, near west side of Beloit as well, looking to see some potential rotation. Janesville, right now, you're good to go, but again, this is your chance to be in that safe spot. You got another 20 minutes, and obviously, Alexis, with how slow this system is moving, I wouldn't necessarily expect, or I would necessarily expect the National Weather Service, as long as they deem it, to extend this warning, because it is not moving fast.
No, it is taking its time. And yeah, I mean, we've got that wall cloud overhead. And if we continue to see this system just slowly making its way towards us here, we still do have the chance that we get to see potentially funnel clouds forming. And we have to, the reason why we've got a tornado warning out here is because those funnel clouds could potentially make their way to the ground. I did really quickly just want to zoom out and talk about the big picture right now, because you might not be in Rock County right now and you're seeing rain. That is not severe. We're not tracking any of the rain over towards Sauk City, over towards Dodgeville, Richland Center, even Madison. Not severe right now. It's really just the southern part of Wisconsin that we are tracking here, where we do have not only a severe thunderstorm warning, but a tornado warning. That rotation is a little concerning. Right now, it's mostly elevated, which is good news, but if it gets a little bit closer to the ground, that's where we need to pay attention. So if you are in that tornado warning, it expires at 3:45 p.m., so that's 20 minutes from now. And yeah, you need to make sure that you are in your safe spot. There's a chance that we could see it extended just because of how slowly it's moving, because it's not a quick system that hits you and then it's done. It's kind of training over these areas. So that's something that we're going to have to monitor through not just the next 20 minutes, but this is a threat that we'll be likely watching through about 8 p.m., right, Cam?
Yeah, it looks like that cold front's going to finally come through just around that 8 o'clock hour, the last of those storms passing off to the east of us. But again, if you're just tuning in, the National Weather Service issuing a tornado warning for Rock County through 3:45, another about 19 minutes here. Now, this is for southern Rock County, including Janesville and Beloit. Thankfully, Evansville, Edgerton, not a part of this potential tornadic threat at this time. Latest rotation. Ooh,
that's a different.
That
that is
way more organized.
Yep.
It's going to be interesting
That's
to see if
just
the
north
north
of
side
Beloit.
of Beloit has any damage, or at least wind damage.
Let's take a look at cross correlation.
It's right on the edge there.
Yeah.
Okay, so we were talking about blues and greens. If there's anything of concern right now, it's this, but because it's right on the edge, there's some kind of interference. Let's go back to velocity. I want to look at the area just north of Beloit. Oh, that is...
Yeah, over towards Garden Village, making its way towards I-3990, 94. Yeah, we definitely need to be taking shelter right now.
Yeah, so the north side of Beloit, you're under the gun right now, headed northeast. Again, it seems as though it passed over 51, the worst of that, now headed for 90. If we have any traffic cameras possibly in that area, Department of Transportation cameras possibly in that area, I'd love to see what they look like.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is, where is this, 8890? Oh yeah, this is between Janesville and Beloit. God, there's a lot of traffic on that. I'm hoping all these folks
you see those dark clouds there.
Yeah, it's certainly,
too.
it's not necessarily looking great. It's raining, obviously. Plenty of rain coming down. Doesn't look like we have any hail associated with it yet.
Do we also, yeah, I'm trying
Yeah,
to,
let's go a little
to County,
further south if
County
possible.
S, I-3990 at County S. Yeah, those, you can see the wind kind of messing with the camera as well.
Yeah, and that looks awfully dark down the expressway there. That looks awfully gnarly.
Yeah,
So
likely a wall cloud on top, or very close to this region right now, just to the west. But wall clouds are a little nerve-wracking just because they can create those funnel clouds that could drop down as tornadoes. So if you know anybody traveling in that area, any schools that are going to be letting out in Rock County, tell them to just wait a little bit longer because this system is just a little too severe right now.
yeah, it's. I'm just looking at the camera. I'm looking at the image there. Yeah, so that's passing essentially over 39 right now, pushing east. Essentially, it seems like it's following 81 there. Yeah, so here's kind of what we're looking at. Again, to go back to what our velocity tracker is, we're tracking the movement of the air itself. So that particulate in the air, how it's moving through the atmosphere. Red is moving away from our radar site. You can see that sweep coming from Milwaukee. Green is moving towards. The brighter the color, the faster that air is moving. So you see that bright green, it is moving really quick to the northeast, and then this red's coming back around, and that's that rotation couple that can drop down a funnel cloud pretty quickly. And that's likely the location of that wall cloud as well. So Beloit, you're not out of the woods yet. There's still more of this kind of stuff we're watching off to the southwest, but the greatest threat right now looks to be north and east of Beloit, maybe a little bit of inflow.
Right, I did want to go ahead and zoom out. Yeah, I mean, you can see that this is a line of thunderstorms over the same area. Unfortunately, Rock County, Greene County looking pretty okay right now, but Rock County into Walworth, into Jefferson, even parts of southeastern Dane County, we need to be staying weather aware. Everybody, of course, that we talked about in that green bubble, that marginal risk for severe weather needs to be staying weather aware. But right now, I'm thinking Rock County, Walworth, parts of Jefferson and Dane most definitely have the biggest threat to continue to see this severe weather. If we're not talking about you, that's a good thing. You might be seeing rain right now, but it is not severe. Showers and a few thunderstorms here. But yeah, this tornado warning goes until 3:45, but there are severe warnings you can see here just to the south, and it's this line that's just staying with us here, likely going to train over the same area, so likely going to see a good amount of rain with this system. We have already seen reports of ping pong ball sized hail. That's 1.5 inches in diameter there. We will continue to track this system as it continues to move over the next couple of hours.
Let's zoom back into Rock County really quick, because right before we zoomed out, we look for, not only on our velocity and our air readings, but we look for telltale signs of tornadic activity in situations like this. And what we look for is, they're called inflow notches. And so you take a line of showers and storms, and if you see really quick, a nice line of storms kind of bows in, kind of like right here, right along 81, I believe, from Beloit to Clinton. That might be a little bit of an inflow notch. And what that is, it's pulling air in and kind of spinning up and around. So if we could go back to our velocity, I have an idea that that's gonna stick right, just on the leading edge right there, kind of coming in. So that could be your inflow notch for that potential tornado. Okay, let's go to our State Line Department of Transportation camera. Oh, there we go. All right, it's not necessarily a wall cloud, but that does look like maybe a shelf cloud moving in ahead of that storm.
You can see the wind shaking the cameras there. So even if we have a tornado warning obviously in place, I'm still not seeing any reports of a tornado on the ground. Even so, if you're in that area, do not go outside and try to find this, because this will likely be rain wrapped. So do not try to go out there and find this for us. We will get reports from National Weather Service spotters here. But with this system here, even if we don't see a tornado, we've got some strong winds out there. We've got some hail. So if you're in the severe thunderstorm and tornado warning, you need to be in your safe spot. And unfortunately, I wish I could tell you that this will end in the next couple of minutes or so, but it will likely be prolonged for a little while, just because of how slowly this system continues to move. And you can kind of see just how ominous the sky looks there, just north of Beloit.
Yeah, can we check the other Department of Transportation camera? I want to see the other one too. Maybe we can
actually, Cam, we do have a new scan that
let's go.
You might want to check on with our velocity tracker. It is showing more of that rotation, and it's coming up on the interstates. That is a big deal. You can see there. Yeah, that wind is shaking the camera.
Yeah, this is shaking. Our camera's shaking. Not only we have the heavy rain, but we got the strong winds associated with this system. Gosh, I hate to see people driving in this, because they probably don't even know what's happening near them or around them, that there's essentially a wall cloud probably a couple hundred yards away from them at this point. So let's jump back to our velocity. We have that newest scan. Let's jump back to our radar here. And you can see just the bright green again, that red kind of wrapping in, the green coming out. So that's 43, I-43 out towards Clinton. At this time. That's really, so this looks to be, it's where that green and red mixes. So right along 90 right there, we're going to see that move through. Can we zoom in a little bit more on that, Alexis, really quick? Yeah, I want to try to get close to that. So we're talking north of Turtle, south of La Prairie, east of Holiday Hills, where that green and red is mixing, intermingling together, getting ready, likely passing over 90 already. That's probably, if there's an area where a tornado would be or a funnel cloud would be, it would likely be right in that area, pushing northeast, north of Turtle, getting ready to pass over 39 or over 39 right now. Let's jump back. I want to see the DOT cameras one more time.
Directors, can we go to the I-39-90 at Woodman Road? I'm seeing you can see some raindrops on this camera here. That rain is now into the region. Thank you for pulling that up. You can see also those cars spitting that rain there as well. And I mean, this is that heavy rain.
Folks have their warning lights on. So they're either going in or coming out. Yeah, this might be right where that was.
Yep, strong winds with that system. Even if we don't have a tornado on the ground right now, this is still a storm to pay attention to. Strong winds, potentially some hail, and some heavy downpours. Hard to drive in those, folks. If you can hold off on travel in Rock County on the interstate, really anywhere in Rock County right now, that would be advised with this system, because it is a severe one that we're seeing. Also new into the newsroom here, National Weather Service has updated our tornado warning. So I'm going to go ahead and take off radar and just show you the warning that we're seeing. We still have a severe thunderstorm warning over the next 10 minutes, but that tornado warning has been updated, and this does include the interstate and over towards I-43 from Beloit over towards the Clinton area as well. I'm going to go ahead and see also if they have anything that has been any reports or anything like that. Right now, it is just radar indicated rotation, so there have been no reports of a tornado on the ground. However, this system has produced tornadoes in northern Illinois. It's kind of one of those systems where you see a wall cloud, you see funnel clouds, and then at any point they can drop to the ground. Once a funnel cloud hits the ground, that's when it is declared a tornado. But this kind of system is just kind of bouncing up and down, so that's why we have to pay attention to it. Even if there is not a report of a tornado, we still need to treat it like one.
Okay, yeah, that's right, exactly. And that's, in any situation, you have to treat these situations as if there's a tornado on the ground, even though, as of right now, to our knowledge, there is not. But let's jump back to that velocity data really quick. I want to see if we have a new scan on that. So we do have an update to that tornado warning. Looks like, yep, pushing right in over 39. If we could jump back to the Department of Transportation cameras on 39, those two that we're kind of jumping back and forth on.
I know the Woodman Road, from what I'm seeing right now, let's go ahead and jump to that one. Just dark.
Yeah, they move. It looks like they moved a little bit. Still looks like we have, people are still driving with their flashers on. You
can tell it's windy. Visibility is low right now. Yeah, definitely would not advise travel at this time if possible.
And again, this is the type of, this storm has been moving so slowly that not only are, you can see lightning as well flashing. There's another one. Okay, this is south towards Beloit. So this is a little bit further south. The wind's still rocking. Doesn't look like anyone's really dealing with quite as significant rainfall. No one's driving with their warning lights on. So hopefully that means that these folks aren't dealing with anything too significant there. But obviously this has been active rolling over. We got tons of traffic on 3990 right now with the storm moving directly over it.
Directors, are we able to quickly move to the Racine Avenue, Wisconsin 11 DOT camera? We're working on that. I am just seeing, this is near Janesville as well. It's very populated areas from Janesville down to Beloit. You can see some lower visibility with this. A lot of rain, some heavy rain at times, and it's likely going to stick around for a little while just because of how slowly this system is moving. But we've got some lower visibility. So, and this is very interesting because, I mean, here in Madison, we're not seeing anything like that. We've just got some rain. But if you were in the Rock County area, there it is. Oh, they're moving that camera around. So we kind of saw a little bit of the cloud cover before they moved it there, but it's dark. Visibility is pretty low out there. You can see the rain being picked up by those cars as they move on by. You can also tell just traffic is moving slower, which is good. I would not recommend traveling right now, but they are traveling at a slower pace. And of course, if anything is, if we do see a tornado touchdown and it passes, we are going to see them hopefully pull over. Amber Nagel is here though, and she has an update.
Yeah, I'm just following along on Facebook Live, and I'm seeing that if any of the kiddos were at school, that they have a shelter in place. So some of the kids are being kept in the school buildings or bused back to the school buildings. Also, power out in southern Janesville.
Okay. Thank you so much for that update. Yeah, those areas, I mean, bad timing with this system, most definitely. Seeing as school is being let out, we're getting into the afternoon and evening commute. So yeah, everybody needs to be in their safe space in Janesville. If you're working in Madison but then having to travel to Janesville home, I would hold off a little bit longer until this system continues to pass. I can't really give it, like the tornado warning technically ends at 3:45. It's likely going to be extended. Same with the severe thunderstorm warning.
They just extended a severe thunderstorm warning as well. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning associated with this system. And that looks like that goes further off to the northeast. Pretty significant.
This includes Walworth County. Now let me go ahead and check and see. I'm going back and forth between all of the computers here. Okay, so let's go ahead and see. So yeah, 1.5 inches in diameter with that severe thunderstorm warning, and then of course we're still watching that rotation.
Okay, so that's out for Johnstown, out towards Elkhorn as well. So the far southeastern reaches of our region into Walworth County. But again, main focus right now on this tornado warning for Rock County, again for another 5 minutes. But I honestly wouldn't be surprised to see them maybe extend this just a little bit longer, based on the just sheer fact that we're still dealing with an area rotation.
I also, real quick, wanted to say it's not showing up on here, but this additional thunderstorm warning is until 4:30 p.m.
Until 4:30. Okay, so that second thunderstorm warning until 4:30, and whether or not the National Weather Service decides to extend that tornado warning, right now, lots of these areas under essentially the gun until about at least 4:30 from this cell alone. Let's jump back into zoom in towards Clinton right now. Looks like this storm has moved over 90, 39 at this time. So we have, it's not quite as organized. That's good, obviously.
Yeah, I will go ahead and just give you a quick update from the National Weather Service. We're very lucky that we get to communicate with them directly. And right now, that tornado warning is set to expire at 3:45. Okay. Currently, we're going to have to watch the next swath of of radar that comes in, but that rotation's starting to come apart. So right now, they are not planning on extending that tornado warning, but the next kind of round of radar will definitely determine that for you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of where we've been looking at is there's not a ton of rotation. The last about 3 or 4 updates we've had from that wind data is really bringing kind of some weaker rotation back to the area. So you can see that red, again, pushing away, green pushing towards. It's still there. If we had to really just show you an area of greatest concern, likely just northeast of Turtle, west of 43, and west of 140, west of Clinton, kind of just passing over 3990 over the last little bit here. So again, this is moving slowly, only about 35 miles per hour. If you have folks and friends in Bradford that you know, shoot them a text, let them know what's going on. Johnstown, again, the National Weather Service getting ready to essentially allow this tornado warning to expire at 3:45, another 3 minutes from now. But that being said, there is still that threat of not only that rotation, the isolated funnel cloud and tornadic rotation on your screen, but also that large hail threat, ping pong ball sized hail at this time. And you can see that white on your screen. That's kind of an indicator of hail embedded within this storm. So the south end of Janesville really catching the brunt of those storms over the last little bit here. And it looks as though we have more of those storms off to the south and west of us.
Yeah, unfortunately,
that are really going to pack a punch as well.
Right, and it looks like, unfortunately, it's going to just move over the same area. So this is what we talked about earlier today during 27 News at 11, also on our live stream on Facebook. Everybody's seeing rain right now, and I kind of just want to talk about everybody in southern Wisconsin. Everybody's kind of seeing a chance for some showers and thunderstorms, but that severe threat really is kind of staying a little bit closer to the state line. But we do still have the chance for showers and thunderstorms. I always say, if we are not talking about your area, you're in the clear, at least for right now. If you're north of Madison, I likely think you're going to stay in the clear. It's really Rock County and now heading into Walworth County. That's the focus. This system is also over I-39, 90, 94 in Rock County. If you're in Madison, if you're north of Rock County and you need to travel into it, just hold off a little bit longer. These storms are pretty strong right now. Heavy rain creating some lowered visibility in this area. So that tornado warning is set to expire in about a minute or so. So we will see if that is what the National Weather Service does, if they decide to extend it. Right now it does not look like it, but I'm watching to see what they're saying. Yeah,
let's jump back over to velocity and see if we can pull that data up. I want to see exactly what the latest sweeps look like. So yeah, same kind of deal we were dealing with there. Pushing a little further off to the northeast again, just north and west of 43, north and west of Clinton, passing over 90, 39 over the last little bit here. Let's jump to our hail tracker right now, Alexis, because I'm interested to see if we have any real significant. That's pushing over 90 as well currently, so maybe not necessarily about half-inch size hail. Maybe jump back to our Department of Transportation cameras, see if any of those folks driving are dealing with that hail right now. South of Janesville. Looks like that's where we could see the greatest threat. Just south of Janesville, between Janesville and Beloit. That hail core going directly over 3990 at this time.
Correct. Yeah, if we're able, directors, if we're able to put up the I-3990 camera at Racine Avenue in Wisconsin 11, we might be able to kind of see what's going on there. I believe they're going to be working on that. But yeah, potentially some hail right now. I am seeing that hail tracker start to decrease a little bit in size.
Yeah, it's not quite as significant as it was before. I mean, we were tracking more of those turquoise and darker blues right along the state line.
Yeah, that'll be near your ping pong ball sized hail there. Yeah, it looks like it is decreasing, but hail is still, of course, going to be a threat that we kind of see. Okay, here's that camera for you there, Cam.
Okay, and thankfully it doesn't look like anyone, I don't see any warning lights on at this time. That's great news. Hopefully that's just a possible indicator. Obviously, that data doesn't always for sure show exactly what's happening out there. So hopefully these folks are just dealing with some rain and not necessarily that hail core. But now that it has passed 3:45, I'm sure that tornado warning has expired.
Let's go ahead and take a look here if it will pop up for us. Yep. So they have let the tornado warning expire. Okay. And right now I am not seeing any indication that they are going to extend it at this time. However, just know that this system, that cell specifically has a history of providing wall clouds, funnel clouds, and even in northern Illinois, a tornado that we do know of did touch down briefly.
Yep.
We don't have any reports of anything in Wisconsin yet. I'm sure we'll get that soon, but we will probably, now that the tornado warning has ended, we'll probably get off of air. We are going to be on, though, 27 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10. If anything does pop again, we'll be the first to let you know. But we are going to be getting ready for that. But we do, real quick before we go, we're just going to talk about that severe warning.
Before we jump off air here. Again, the National Weather Service, that tornado warning no longer in effect, but we do still have a severe thunderstorm warning for portions of Rock and Walworth counties. That goes until 4:30. So for about another 42 minutes, we have a severe thunderstorm warning. Primary threats are going to be hail. We're talking ping pong ball-sized hail. We've had that reported along with this system. And so the system has a history of generating hail larger than an inch in diameter. That's going to do some damage to those hoods of the cars, the roof of the cars. You don't want to be caught in that. In addition to that, damaging winds in excess of 60 miles per hour, a possibility, not to mention, we've obviously been tracking the threat of tornadic activity over the last really about half an hour, 45 minutes here. So we're going to continue to track this storm as it continues to roll through southern Wisconsin. Keep it here to 27 News at 4 o'clock. It's underway in about 12 minutes. We'll have the latest on that storm at that time.
We've got you covered. Stay with 27 News, WKOW.com, and our 27 News Now app for continuing coverage.